No, to win the tournament.
Okay.
We're going to win the cup this year. 50% of the 100% of any team, 50% is selecting the right team. And then the rest of the 50% is for them to perform. And that is the role of the captain, the players, and obviously the coaching staff. I think going into the retention, we had the opportunity to retain who we wanted. And we were fortunate enough to retain whoever we wanted. So we just wanted to build on that. And we wanted to go into the auction with as much money as possible because we really wanted to build a formidable team, as you've said, and a team which Anil, we wanted to give Anil the opportunity along with Jonty and Satish and Mayank to build a team which they really wanted and which they felt was the right team. Most importantly, the right balance. Very much involved. Each of us in the team, and when I mean team, I mean the directors, Mohit Burman, Karan Paul, and Preeti Zinta. Each of us has our strengths. So we play to the strengths. Even though a lot of the conceptualization of the process, the structure came from Anil, supported by me, guided by me. There was a lot of interaction with the board, which is again Mohit, Preeti, and Karan. We had several board meetings. We had several mock auctions, and we had a few other things which we did, which I don't want to talk about because that's more how we operate. But let me just put it this way: that from the time we retained our two players, from that minute onwards, right until the end of the auction, was a very interactive process. So it was very intense. I think we must have had over 1,000 teams, in different formats. Very, very intensive, right from, I think, mid of October all the way till mid of Feb. I think more often than not, it's the team which comes together. I think in some cases, some players didn't perform. Some cases, other players performed. I think it's all about having the right culture, having the right setup, and we've tweaked a few things, and we've taken whatever the positives we've had. You see, one can continuously look at the negatives. We don't look at negative. We don't understand negative. We look at positives and we look at learnings. So from our perspective, there were several learnings, there were several positives. And what we've tried to do is bring all that together, bring in the right balance. Such as Shikhar, who's an elder, I wouldn't say elder, but more experienced, has been around. We were very keen on him. We were very surprised that Delhi allowed a Rabada to go, and we were very, very keen on him. And then, of course, having the right international players, such as Johnny Bairstow, such as Liam Livingston, such as Odain Smith. But again, having said that, that it's again the 11 which make the difference. We have 25 players. We believe that it's not only the mix of the experience, the mix of the young, the mix of who we feel as those young as potential. So it's that whole mix of the team, and having 25 players not only allows us the option of having very good practice matches, 11 versus 11 most of the time, but allows us to really look at the players and see how good they are. That's the first part. The second part is that, though we had a culture, we're sort of having it a better structure this time. And it's all about, it's not only about winning, but it's about togetherness. It's about a family. And that's what we've brought in, this time. In fact, I'm actually in the bubble. Our CEO, Satish Menon, is here. All the players are here. Some of the wives are here. So it's all a collective, happy family. And I think the most important thing is to have love and respect for each other. And, we've hired, or we've contracted, and we've invested in all these players because we know they have the right experience, the right skills. And it's our role to really harness them and make them into superstars. Each squad is different. I think it's about balance. It's we felt that there were certain imbalances in the previous squad, and that's what we've done to correct. And it's also having the right backups, looking into the future to invest in future talent. So that's what we've done. Mayank is not only a phenomenal person, he's very humble. He is consistently, even before he was captain, he would always be with people. He's the first down at the breakfast table. He's always talking to everyone, talking to the young people. And he's just a wonderful player. I mean, he's really a jewel in our crown. He's a diamond. And as they say, sometimes it takes a while, you have to polish the diamond. And I think we are very lucky to have Mayank with us. And I think he'll be a very successful captain. And I wait for the world to see the true talent and true leadership ability of Mayank, which we believe he has and which he knows he has. Listen, it's always better to have home crowd, home advantage. But eventually it's a competitive sport. And, given the current situation or the past 2 years of COVID, I think players have adapted, be it the bubble. Now they've, as I was talking to Mayank's wife the other day, they've been through 7 or 8 bubbles. So it's become natural. It's about habit, right? So the first time you're in a bubble, it's difficult. The second time it's easier. The third time it's easier. The same is by playing in a stadium where there's no crowd. Sometimes it's an advantage where there's less pressure. Sometimes the crowd brings on more pressure. If you miss a catch, they start screaming and shouting and complaining. If you make a catch, they're happy. So it's got its pros and cons, but obviously the crowd is an integrated part. And I hope that this year, that the crowds will be allowed by the BCCI, like they were allowed in the India-Sri Lanka series. And again, the crowd is an interactive part because it's our fans, it's our support. But without them, is not as noisy and vociferous and fun. But again, it's all the players have. Eventually, it's like any business, right? I mean, you have to go and perform. So the players, I think it's good because the players have now learned to adapt and adjust. And I think it makes them much better players. So when they come into the crowd, that emotion, that sound, that sort of, support will only add and enhance what they're already doing without the crowd. And it brings a lot of, it can bring a lot of adrenaline. Most of the time it's positive adrenaline. But sometimes, as I said, if you drop a catch, you know how the Indian crowd is, everyone loves cricket, and that's phenomenal, from the biggest CEO to the smallest person who's sweeping the floor, and everyone loves cricket and everyone has an opinion on cricket, which is great. So I think the crowd, will only add to that energy and to that adrenaline of the player. And then it's up to the players how to channel that and make that into something which is a positive aspect of their game and help them to perform better. Listen, I'm very happy. It's the Indian Premier League. We're very happy that it's happening in India. There's full cooperation and understanding and great respect. And I think the BCCI has done phenomenally well, right from Saurav Ganguly to Jay Shah to Brijesh Hari to Hemang, to all the entire BCCI, all the others as well. Eventually, the BCCI and the IPL are all part of one. We sing together and we swim together. So I think, unfortunately, last year we tried to have it in India. Things didn't go too well. So this year, I think it's really good that we're doing it in India. And I think it is definitely the wise decision to have it in a bubble because we don't want to have any interruption again. And I think COVID is now, hopefully we've seen the end or the tail of COVID. And next year, I feel things will be back to normal. And we look forward very much, very excited about the women's IPL, which they're planning to have. And I think it's high time it happened. We have great respect for all women, not only women who play cricket, women who play sport, but all women. They are the backbone of all men, and it's wonderful. Yeah, Kagiso will be arriving shortly. We're trying to get him for the first game. But again, if he doesn't make it for the first game, we have enough backup options. We're not worried. Again, we'd ideally like him to come for the first game, but please appreciate and respect that every player has national duty, and national duty does come first over, the IPL. And we're very proud and happy that he's, been with South Africa. And we're even happier that he's now coming as soon as he can. So he should be here for the first match. But if he's not here for the first match, we're not worried. We have enough players to replace him and take his place. I think it's phenomenal how it's grown and gone from strength to strength. I think, one of the things which I would like to see introduced, I'm a very nationalistic person. To me, this is the Indian Premier League. It is one of the biggest sporting leagues in the world. It is the biggest cricket league in the world. Everyone tries to copy it. I think the sort of overflow or the outflow of us, the fact that we started the Indian Premier League, if you look back over 14 seasons, with great pride and joy, I now look back and say, okay, we planted the seed for sports to be recognized as a profession. I remember 15 years ago, around that time, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, T20, it's not cricket." Well, excuse me, it is cricket. It's not only enhanced the 5-day cricket, it's not only enhanced the 1-day cricket. It's brought in a huge number of fans, whether it's kids, whether it's women, whether it's the elderly. It's brought in a huge number of fans from across the world. So much so that other countries are now looking at emulating us and trying to make sure that their country and their fans also support their own leagues. And I think the second thing is that the number of other sports, because of the overflow of cricket, which have benefit, whether it's from kabaddi to badminton to anything, to football, I think it's wonderful to see India having sports as a proper profession and a very well-respected profession, just like, for example, the US, which has American football, baseball, basketball, soccer, and ice hockey. Sports is a profession. And that is the biggest joy for me, and I think for many of the other teams to really have a situation where it not only gives you a career option. Okay, I mean, look at the Olympics. You mentioned Nikhil Chopra, I think it is. Look how well he did. Look at the other sports. So sports is now truly well established as a profession. And I think you'll see over the many years coming forward, us performing even better internationally. I think the other thing is that it's really made India even stronger in cricket. I mean, our second, if you were to say, okay, there's a playing 11, and if you were to say, okay, there's a backup 11, I think even if there's a third 11, and you have the 33 best players in India, I think even the third 11 will be able to compete with the best, if not beat them. So very proud that India has these things, and I'd be even prouder because I think we must and should play the national anthem before every Indian Premier League game, just like many of the American franchises do in the United States of America. We're just happy to have the fans back, very excited to have them back, most excited to be in India. Very happy also that the league is enlarged itself. We welcome Lucknow and Gujarat. I think, to have more competition is always good. And I think you will see the rise of the entire league, and I think that will be very evident in the media rights which are coming out, and that's going to go for a very large amount, I feel, if not double what was there 5 years ago, which Star paid. And again, enhancing it through the women's IPL, I think is wonderful. So all credit and many, many thanks to the BCCI, right from Saurav to Jay Shah to Bridges to Hemang to everyone. They've truly been amazing, okay, especially during COVID, to hold the games in the Middle East, to hold the games in India, then again in the Middle East last year. And of course, now to have them in India. So, like I said, it's wonderful to be part of the BCCI, to be part of cricket. And we look forward to entertaining, everyone again with our style of cricket, which is the Punjab way of cricket, which is fearless. And we look forward to lifting the trophy this year.